God damn it. The flight of the dung beetle. In the Thar Desert, the dung beetle reigns supreme. It seems incapable of landing the right way up, and usually does a backflip, landing on its back and then turning over. Beetles fly until they scent the smell of camel dung, whereupon they home in on the camel dung, often in great numbers. Beetles congregate, often in great numbers, when they smell camel dung. Each beetle chops away a piece of the dung with its sharp antennae and then rolls the dung away for distances of up to 20 metres to bury the dung in the sand. If more than one dung beetle lays claim to a piece of dung, a fight ensues, with the victorious dung beetle taking the dung to his hole. They do not seem to have the teamwork of ants. Here is the dung beetle's hole, and the dung beetle has burrowed inside to make room for the dung and is now pulling it underground. It's difficult to say what happens to it underground, but the residue is white and rather crusty. The dung is ejected somehow from the hole and forms sand, presumably, in the desert. Work as a team with this piece of dung. They can travel quite rapidly. They're also very... Oh, here they've started a fight. It's my dung. Their means of progression is rather curious. The beetle pushes the dung with his back legs from behind, walking... Oh, it's coming back again. Walking on his front legs and securing the dung with his rear strong, long legs. It's not quite clear how he sees where he's going, unless, of course, he has eyes in the back of his head. Dung beetles travel quite fast, both on the ground and in flight. A fully grown dung beetle is about... The body is about 1 inch long, and the legs perhaps a further inch. A dung beetle digs his hole, pushing the sand out repeatedly until the hole is big enough for him to secrete the dung. I don't know how long dung beetles stay in their holes with the piece of dung, or indeed what they do with it, but it comes out relatively white and clean. Beetles can travel over obstacles which which are quite large. Over he goes. We have seen dung beetles rolling dung up railway embankments and struggling repeatedly to lift the dung over the sleepers. On that occasion it was unsuccessful, and both beetle and dung rolled repeatedly down the embankment, but the beetle refused to let go of his piece of dung. Up and over. The distinctive tracks form paths across the Thar Desert, and if lost, one could always follow the trail of the dung beetles back to where there has been a camel train. Uphill and down dale. If he has difficulty rolling his dung up the slope, he will travel along the valley. He then goes at great speed down the slope on the other side. There's another one. He seems to be retracing the steps of the first beetle. Oh no, he doesn't, he's changed his mind. Possibly in pursuit of the source of dung. Same beetle, several yards further. Right, it's mine. The victorious beetle sitting on top of his dung. With the second beetle clinging on to it. Was the victorious beetle heading towards the edge of a sand dune. As he rolls it down, no, he's changed his mind. Down the hill he goes. "50 metres from where he first found his dung, the beetle begins to make his hole. The second beetle still clings on, unopposed. Be a mate guarding the dung against possible theft by other beetles, as the first beetle does not appear to be shaking off this particular clinger. He's sizing up the dung to see if it's big enough to fit in the hole, and having decided that it's still a little too big, he goes back and digs some more. The mate watches, not attempting to take the dung away. Together, they scoop the dung into the hole. Digging round the edges. It's still a little too big. Now the dung beetles retire into the hole for who knows how long, until they have run out of food. Surely the dung beetles manoeuvre the dung into the hole. And retire there together for who knows how long. Blocking themselves in by more sand. Going up the slope, a sand dune. Another dung beetle pushes his piece of dung. This kind of attempt often ends in disaster, when both beetle and dung... this one's made it. Up the 45-degree slope of a sand dune, this dung beetle pushes his dung. This kind of attempt often ends in disaster, when both dung and beetle roll down locked together. This one has obviously done some rock climbing because he's using the traverse method. Undaunted, he starts again. Commentary by Fran Healy. Assistance and interference by Jay, Daisy and Clover Abbott.